creatine. It is one of the most talked about supplements in the fitness world. But here is the twist. It is not just for bulky men lifting heavy weights in the gym. In fact, science is uncovering new facts showing that creatine could be just as important for women as it is for men. Yet, despite years of research, most people still do not know the full story. In this video, we are going to uncover the truth about creatine, what it really does in your body, how it affects men and women differently, and why nearly everyone who trains seriously might be missing out by ignoring it. There are a few facts hidden behind all the hype, and some of them might surprise you. Let us start with a question that sparks endless debate. Does creatine actually make you stronger, or is it all just marketing? Studies from top universities say otherwise. They show that creatine can boost not just muscle power, but even brain performance. Yes, you heard that right. The same compound that helps athletes sprint faster and lift heavier can also sharpen your focus and mental clarity. That is one reason scientists are now testing creatine in women for things like energy, recovery, and even mood balance. Men often hear about creatine as a shortcut to muscle growth. But here is a lesser known fact. Women naturally have lower creatine levels in their muscles. That means they may see even greater benefits when they start supplementing. Some research even suggests creatine might help support bone health and fight age-related muscle loss in women. This is not just about lifting weights. It is about strength, energy, and long-term wellness. Still, there are myths everywhere. Some people say it causes bloating or damages the kidneys. Others believe it is only for athletes. But when we look at decades of scientific data, the truth is clear. Creatine is one of the most studied supplements in the world, and for healthy people, it is safe, simple, and effective. The problem is not the science. It is the misunderstanding. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what creatine is, how it works inside your body, and why men and women respond differently to it. You will discover the right way to use it, the right dose, and how to make it work for your goals, whether that is building muscle, staying lean, or keeping your mind sharp. You will also learn when it might not be worth it, because not everyone needs it, and knowing that difference can save you both money and effort. Stay with us until the end, because we are going to reveal the real reasons why creatine is becoming one of the most valuable tools for both men and women, not just for performance, but for everyday health. Welcome to our channel, your trusted place for clear science-based wellness information made simple. If you are new here, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you do not miss our upcoming deep dives into the truth behind today's most talked about health topics. Let us begin the journey into what men and women truly need to know about creatine. Creatine is a natural compound that your body already produces on its own. It is made from 3 amino acids, arginine, glycine, and methionine, and stored mostly in your muscles, with smaller amounts found in your brain and other tissues. About 95% of the creatine in your body sits inside your muscles, waiting to be used when your body needs quick energy. The remaining 5% supports your brain and other high-energy organs. Every time you move, lift, or even think, your body needs a steady supply of energy. This energy comes from a molecule called adenosine triphosphate, or ATP. Think of ATP as your body's immediate energy currency. The problem is that ATP runs out fast, usually within seconds during intense activity like sprinting or lifting weights. That is where creatine steps in. It helps recycle and regenerate ATP so your muscles and brain can keep performing at a high level for longer. Without creatine, your energy system would burn out much faster. What makes creatine special is how it supports short bursts of intense effort, the kind of energy you need for explosive movement, quick reactions, or focused thinking. That is why it is not just athletes who benefit from it. Even people who do not train at the gym can experience improvements in daily energy, memory, and concentration when their creatine levels are optimal. Research shows that creatine helps keep cells hydrated and functioning properly, protecting them from fatigue and stress. Although your body makes some creatine on its own, most people also get it through food. Red meat, poultry, and fish are the richest natural sources. However, the amount in food is limited. For example, you would need to eat several large portions of beef or salmon to match the amount found in one small serving of a supplement. Vegetarians and vegans usually have lower natural creatine levels because they do not consume these animal-based sources, which means their muscles and brains often respond even better when they start supplementing. Inside the body, creatine acts as a reserve tank for quick energy. When you perform high-intensity work, your stored creatine phosphate donates a phosphate molecule to rebuild ATP. This process happens in fractions of a second and allows your muscles to keep contracting with power. Over time, consistent use of creatine helps your body store even more of it, which translates into better performance and endurance. But this effect is not limited to the gym. The brain also uses ATP rapidly, and studies show that higher creatine stores can support mental alertness, memory, and focus during challenging tasks. Creatine also influences water balance in muscle cells. It draws water into the muscle fibers, keeping them full and hydrated, which can improve muscle volume and cellular health. This effect is often mistaken for bloating, but it actually represents proper hydration inside the muscle, not fat gain or puffiness. In fact, this water retention helps create an environment where muscles can recover and grow more effectively after stress. From supporting energy production to maintaining cell stability, creatine plays a key role in how the body functions every day. It quietly fuels movement, focus, and endurance. Whether you are lifting weights, walking upstairs, or powering through a long day of work, creatine has been studied for decades, and most of that research has focused on men, especially those involved in strength and power-based sports. From sprinters to bodybuilders, athletes have relied on creatine as one of the few supplements consistently proven to work. The science is clear. Creatine helps the body produce energy faster, which allows men to lift heavier, sprint harder, and recover more efficiently between sets or rounds. This effect is especially noticeable in short, explosive activities like weightlifting, football, or sprinting, where quick energy makes all the difference. When men start using creatine, one of the first things they notice is an improvement in performance during training. Muscles feel stronger, repetitions increase, and recovery time shortens. Over weeks of consistent use, this leads to visible changes, greater lean muscle mass, improved definition, and higher overall power output. Studies show that creatine can increase muscle volume by boosting water content in cells, but more importantly, it enhances protein synthesis, helping the muscles grow and repair more efficiently after intense work. Men tend to experience larger increases in size and strength, partly because of their higher muscle mass and natural testosterone levels. Since they already have more muscle tissue to store creatine, their bodies can accumulate slightly greater amounts of it. This gives them a stronger response during resistance training. For example, when doing multiple sets of heavy lifts, the additional energy provided by creatine allows them to sustain intensity longer, leading to faster progress. Beyond just muscle growth, creatine also helps men maintain endurance during high-intensity sessions. It delays the point of fatigue, meaning they can complete more quality reps before reaching exhaustion. Over time, this small edge adds up to significant performance gains. There is also growing evidence that creatine supports muscle preservation during calorie restriction or weight loss phases, a reason many men use it when cutting to keep their strength and muscle size stable while reducing fat. Another lesser-known benefit for men is creatine's potential to support cognitive function, particularly under stress or sleep deprivation. Research suggests it helps supply energy to the brain, improving focus, reaction time, and decision-making during physically demanding or mentally draining situations. This makes it valuable not only for gym performance, but also for overall energy levels in daily life. For men who train intensely or compete in sports requiring quick bursts of power, creatine remains one of the most trusted and effective tools to enhance physical capability, increase lean mass, and sustain long-term training progress. For years, creatine has been labeled as a men's supplement, often associated with bodybuilding and muscle gain. but modern research is turning that old idea upside down. Women can benefit from creatine just as much as men, and in some cases, they might benefit even more. One key reason is biology. Studies show that women naturally have 70 to 80% lower creatine stores compared to men. This difference exists because women tend to eat less meat and fish, which are the main dietary sources of creatine, and because their muscle mass is generally smaller. As a result, women begin with lower baseline levels, meaning supplementation can make a more noticeable impact on their performance, energy, and overall well-being. When women supplement with creatine, their muscles become better at generating quick energy during exercise. This translates into improvements in strength, endurance, and recovery, benefits that show up both in athletic performance and daily activities. Research shows that women who add creatine to their training routines can lift heavier weights, perform more repetitions, and recover faster between workouts. It also helps reduce feelings of fatigue, allowing for longer and more effective sessions. Even women who are new to exercise often report feeling stronger and more energetic within just a few weeks of consistent use. The effects of creatine are not limited to the gym. Emerging studies are highlighting how it supports women's health in broader ways. One major area is bone health. As women age, bone density naturally declines, especially after menopause, increasing the risk of fractures and osteoporosis. Creatine, combined with resistance training, has been shown to help maintain or even improve bone strength by enhancing muscle force and stimulating bone building activity. This makes it particularly valuable for women entering their 40s and beyond, when bone loss tends to accelerate. Creatine also plays a key role in brain health. The brain uses enormous amounts of energy, and just like muscles, it relies on ATP to function efficiently. Supplementing with creatine helps maintain energy balance in brain cells, supporting mental clarity, memory, and focus. Some studies even suggest it may reduce mental fatigue during stressful or sleep-deprived conditions. For women juggling multiple roles and long workdays, this cognitive support can be just as important as physical performance. Hormonal changes are another reason creatine can be helpful for women. During certain phases of the menstrual cycle, pregnancy or menopause, fluctuations in estrogen and progesterone can affect energy levels, hydration, and metabolism. Creatine helps stabilize energy production and supports muscle strength during these shifts. This is one reason why researchers are beginning to explore its potential benefits for mood and cognitive balance, especially in women experiencing hormonal transitions. For women following vegetarian or vegan diets, creatine supplementation becomes even more important. Since plant-based diets lack natural creatine sources, their muscle and brain stores are often lower, which can lead to reduced energy availability. Supplementation in these cases often leads to noticeable improvements in exercise performance, focus, and recovery. Creatine is also being studied for its effects on aging and long-term health. As women grow older, muscle mass naturally declines, a process called sarcopenia. This can lead to reduced strength, slower metabolism, and greater fatigue. Creatine helps counter this by supporting muscle maintenance and improving cellular energy efficiency. Combined with light resistance exercise, it helps women stay active, strong, and independent for longer. From energy production and muscle recovery to bone protection and mental clarity, creatine quietly supports many systems in the female body. It is no longer a supplement only for athletes. It is becoming a key tool for women who want to stay strong, energized, and resilient throughout every stage of life. When it comes to how men and women respond to creatine, the differences are not just physical, but also biological and hormonal. The first and most noticeable difference lies in how much creatine their bodies naturally store. Men tend to have higher baseline levels because they generally possess more muscle mass and consume more creatine-rich foods like red meat and fish. Women, on the other hand, naturally have smaller muscle stores, in some studies up to 20 to 30% lower than men. This means their muscles start with less creatine available for rapid energy use, and they often respond differently when they begin supplementing. Muscle size and total mass also play a major role. Since creatine is stored primarily in muscle tissue, men's larger muscle volume gives them more total storage capacity. As a result, when men take creatine, the increase in total creatine levels across the body is often greater in absolute terms. However, when measured relative to muscle size, women can experience similar or even greater proportional increases. This means that while men might see bigger overall numbers in muscle size, women can still experience powerful strength and performance gains relative to their frame. Studies have found that both men and women experience significant improvements in strength and exercise performance with creatine, but the visible outcomes can vary. Men tend to gain more lean muscle mass and notice larger increases in muscle size, mainly due to higher testosterone levels that amplify protein synthesis. Women, meanwhile, often experience strength gains without dramatic muscle bulk. This makes creatine particularly appealing to women who want to feel stronger and more toned without worrying about appearing overly muscular. The performance benefits are real, but the physical changes often appear subtler. Another factor influencing these differences is metabolism. Women typically burn energy differently than men during exercise, relying slightly more on fat metabolism and less on high intensity short burst energy systems that depend heavily on creatine phosphate. This means men may experience more direct performance improvement during explosive movements, while women may benefit more in endurance, recovery, and fatigue resistance. Over time, as women train more intensely or use heavier loads, the benefits of creatine tend to grow even stronger. Hormonal fluctuations also play a key part. Estrogen and progesterone influence water retention, energy levels, and muscle metabolism throughout the menstrual cycle. Some evidence suggests that creatine's effects might vary depending on hormonal phases, with certain times of the month allowing the body to store and use it more efficiently. During menopause, when estrogen levels decline, creatine becomes even more valuable because it can help counteract muscle and bone loss linked to aging. Diet and lifestyle add another layer to the picture. Men who eat a lot of meat already have higher baseline creatine levels, while women who follow plant-based diets often start with less. This makes supplementation particularly effective for women who are vegetarian or vegan, as their muscles tend to respond more noticeably when creatine levels are restored. Age also influences the response. Younger individuals generally build muscle more easily, while older adults, especially women, may see more benefit from the recovery and energy enhancing effects rather than dramatic changes in size. The body's hydration balance is another small but interesting difference. Creatine draws water into muscle cells, improving hydration and cellular health. Men tend to show a more visible increase in water retention within the muscles, contributing to that slightly fuller or more pumped look. Women experience the same process, but it is usually less pronounced, often resulting in muscles that feel firmer and more resilient rather than visibly larger. Training style can further shape how creatine affects results. Men who focus on high intensity, short duration activities like weightlifting or sprinting see rapid benefits because these rely heavily on creatine's quick energy system. Women who engage in mixed training, combining cardio with strength work, experience steady improvements in endurance, recovery, and energy. Over time, both benefit just in different ways. While the biological and hormonal distinctions between men and women influence how creatine works, both groups gain from it in meaningful, measurable ways. The difference lies mainly in how those benefits appear and how individual factors such as diet, age, and training intensity shape the outcome. Creatine comes in several forms, but the most widely researched and trusted is creatine monohydrate. It is simple, affordable, and highly effective. Most people use it in two main ways, with or without a loading phase. The loading phase involves taking about 20 grams per day, divided into smaller doses for 5 to 7 days to quickly saturate the muscles. After that, the dose is reduced to a steady 3 to 5 grams daily for maintenance. For those who prefer a slower approach, skipping the loading phase and taking a consistent 3 to 5 grams each day works just as well over time. It simply takes a few extra weeks to reach full muscle saturation. Creatine works best when paired with resistance or strength training because exercise helps the muscles absorb and retain it more efficiently. When you lift weights or perform any form of high intensity exercise, your muscles use creatine phosphate to regenerate energy rapidly. Taking creatine consistently during training allows your body to build a larger energy reserve, leading to noticeable improvements in endurance, power, and recovery. It is not a quick fix. It works through consistent use alongside proper training. Timing can also make a small difference in how well your body uses creatine. Many people prefer taking it right after their workout, along with a meal or shake containing carbohydrates and protein, as this combination helps boost absorption. Others take it at any convenient time of day, since the key factor is consistency rather than timing. What matters most is not missing doses, because creatine levels in the muscles need to stay high to maintain its effects. Hydration is another crucial detail. Creatine draws water into the muscle cells, which supports better performance and recovery. Because of this, it is important to drink enough water throughout the day. Staying well hydrated helps prevent fatigue, headaches, or cramps, especially during heavy training or hot weather. For women, a few additional points are worth noting. Those following vegetarian or vegan diets often have lower natural creatine levels, so supplementing regularly can make a noticeable difference in energy and strength. Older women may also benefit from daily use, since creatine supports muscle and bone health, helping counter age-related decline. Regardless of gender, maintaining proper diet, hydration, and regular exercise ensures creatine delivers its full potential safely and effectively. Creatine has earned a reputation for being one of the safest and most thoroughly studied supplements in the world. Despite that, many myths and misunderstandings still surround it. When used correctly, creatine is remarkably well tolerated by healthy individuals, with only a few mild side effects reported in some cases. The most common is a slight increase in water retention inside the muscles. This happens because creatine pulls water into muscle cells, keeping them hydrated and supporting energy production. Some people may notice a small weight increase of 1 to 2 pounds during the first week, but this is not fat. It is simply water stored in the muscles, which actually helps improve performance. A few users experience mild stomach discomfort, especially when taking large doses at once. This can include bloating or cramping, usually during the loading phase. Taking smaller servings throughout the day, mixing creatine properly in water, or pairing it with meals can easily prevent this issue. Once the body adjusts, most people no longer experience any discomfort. One of the most common concerns people bring up is kidney damage. However, scientific research spanning decades has found no evidence that creatine harms kidney or liver function in healthy people using normal doses. Studies on athletes and older adults show that long-term use of 3 to 5 grams per day remains safe. The confusion likely comes from outdated studies where individuals with pre-existing kidney conditions showed problems unrelated to creatine use. For healthy individuals, it poses no such risk. Another topic that often comes up is acne or hair loss. Some claim creatine might increase levels of DHT, a hormone linked to hair thinning in men, but current research does not provide strong evidence for this effect. Most studies find no significant change in hormone levels that would lead to hair loss. Similarly, no reliable data connects creatine to acne, though, as with any supplement, hydration and general skincare still matter for overall health. Still, there are situations where caution is important. People with kidney or liver disease should consult a doctor before using creatine, as their bodies may process it differently. Pregnant or breastfeeding women should also seek medical advice first, since research on these groups is limited. Staying hydrated, following the recommended dose, and avoiding unnecessary overuse ensures creatine remains a safe and beneficial addition to a balanced health routine. Creatine is most valuable for people who regularly challenge their muscles and energy systems through intense physical activity. It shows the greatest benefit in strength and power-based training, exercises like weightlifting, sprinting, or any form of high-intensity interval work. Both men and women who train this way can experience faster progress, greater endurance, and better recovery between sessions. For women in particular, creatine becomes especially worthwhile as they age. Natural declines in muscle mass and bone density can lead to fatigue and weakness over time, but creatine helps support strength and maintain bone health, especially when combined with resistance exercise. It is also an excellent supplement for vegetarians and vegans. Because they consume little to no animal products, their natural creatine levels tend to be lower. This means their bodies respond strongly once supplementation begins, showing noticeable improvements in energy, performance, and even cognitive focus. For these individuals, creatine can help bridge the nutritional gap that comes from a plant-based diet. Similarly, older adults or people in recovery from injury may find it helpful for rebuilding strength and reducing muscle loss. However, not everyone needs creatine. If someone eats a diet rich in red meat and fish, their muscles might already be near their maximum creatine levels, so the added benefit from supplementation can be smaller. People who only engage in moderate exercise, such as walking, yoga, or light cardio, might not notice much change in performance since their activities do not rely heavily on the fast energy system that creatine supports. In such cases, maintaining a balanced diet and consistent physical activity may provide all the necessary benefits without supplementation. There are also circumstances where medical supervision is important. Individuals with chronic kidney or liver conditions should avoid using creatine without approval from a healthcare provider. Pregnant or breastfeeding women should also consult a doctor before starting any supplement, as research in these areas is still limited. Ultimately, creatine works best as part of a complete fitness approach. It supports what training, nutrition, and rest already do, helping the body recover, perform, and stay strong. It cannot replace effort in the gym or good eating habits, but it can amplify their results, especially for those whose bodies need that extra push of energy and resilience. Creatine has earned its place as one of the most effective and reliable supplements for enhancing physical and mental performance. It works by fueling the body's energy systems, supporting stronger muscles, faster recovery, and sharper focus. Both men and women can benefit from it, though the way those benefits appear can differ. Men often experience greater increases in muscle mass and strength due to their larger muscle stores and hormonal profile, while women usually see steady improvements in endurance, recovery, and daily energy without dramatic size changes. The science behind creatine is solid. It works, but it works best when used with consistency and purpose. Anyone considering creatine should view it as a long-term addition to a structured training and nutrition plan, not a shortcut. The foundation always remains proper exercise, balanced meals, quality sleep, and hydration. A small daily dose of 3 to 5 grams is all it takes to maintain optimal levels once your muscles are fully saturated. The effects build gradually, not overnight, and the key is regular use rather than random intake. Pairing creatine with resistance or strength training allows the body to make the most of its benefits while keeping energy systems efficient and muscles strong. Individual context matters too. Someone training for power or endurance will need a slightly different approach from someone focusing on general wellness. Age, diet, and lifestyle all influence how creatine works in the body. Women who are older, plant-based eaters, or focused on bone and cognitive health may find it particularly valuable. Meanwhile, men who train at high intensity or aim for muscle growth will benefit most from consistent supplementation and recovery routines. If you are thinking about adding creatine to your routine, take the time to understand your goals and your body's needs. Research, track your progress, and talk with a health or fitness professional if you are unsure where to start. Learn how to match the supplement to your training style, monitor how your body responds, and adjust over time. When used correctly, creatine becomes more than a supplement. It becomes a reliable tool for strength, performance, and long-term vitality. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Creatine is more than just a gym supplement. It's a science-backed tool that supports energy, strength, and overall health for both men and women. Whether your goal is to train harder, recover faster, or simply feel stronger in daily life, understanding how creatine works gives you a real advantage. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a like. It really helps support the channel and lets us know you enjoy this kind of science-based content. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss our upcoming videos on fitness, health, and wellness explained in simple, clear language. We'd also love to hear from you in the comments. Are you currently using creatine? Have you noticed any changes in your performance or energy? Share your experience below. Your story might help someone else on their journey too. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video with more insights to help you train smarter, stay healthier, and live stronger.